Last week, I published a video about setting goals and strategies for actually meeting those goals. We talked about goals being specific, we talked about them having a timeline, and we talked about breaking those goals down month by month so that we could actually meet them. But now I want to go ahead and give you some examples of my real life money goals so that you know some possibilities or some possible goals that you can set for yourself. So last week in the video, I gave some examples about saving and paying off debt. But today I want to talk about just some things that I have going on in my life. Okay. So, number one is I still have 11,000, not 11,000, $1,150 to put inside of my emergency fund. I have $1,150 that I need to store into my emergency fund. I am very close to having 6 month emergency fund. It's about probably 5.5 months, 5.5 months, or probably a little bit closer than that. So I'm very close to having exactly 6 months of what I need. And I did have what I needed, but I boosted it up because some bills have increased, or you gather more bills along the way, which is, I don't really like to do that. I like to decrease bills along the way, but insurances are increasing and things of that nature. My water bill is going up sky high. I just don't know what we're doing with this water. Like, what are we doing with this water? Are we filling up 2 and 3 pools a day? I have no idea why my water bill is insanely insane. But because of some increase in bills and I want a little bit of extra security, so to speak, I want to increase my emergency fund. So I need about $1,150 in order to do that, right? So that is my goal number one. And I want to have that within 2 months. So I'm going to say by the end of August, I need $1,150 in my emergency fund. So that's my first goal, right? Now, my second one, I talk about this so much, so much, is my car is now 10 years old, very close to 100,000 miles on it. And I just want to make sure that I have money, cash money in the bank to be able to pay for a car in cash. Debt is no longer an option for me. We're keeping debt off the table at all costs. If I'm going into debt, it's because I've spent my very last and I am really at the end of my ropes, or something truly devastating happened. So debt is truly not an option for me anymore. I'm really not trying to go down that route. So everything is going to be in cash. Every single thing is going to be in cash. So um prior to now, I set a goal of 27,000 for a car. Okay, so that was the goal that I had set. I've been putting, let's say, $300 to $600 a month in this fund, and I actually been saving for quite some time. So my car is 10 years old, not about, it was 10 years old in April. I can't remember when I actually started saving. It could have been when I paid off my car, probably about, my car was 3 years old when I paid off my car, probably. So probably for 7 years, I've been putting $300 to $600 a month in this car fund. $300 mostly, but $600 some months when I had extra, and $700 some months when I had extra. It just depends on the month and if there's any extra money coming in, but I never allowed myself to do less than 300, but it ranged from 3 to actually 750 throughout the last year. So was originally trying to get to 27,000. Right now I'm over 18,000, but listen, I am literally going to get what my money can afford. When it is time for me to go in and get a new car and pay cash for it, or when it's time for me to get a car, I'm paying cash for it. So I might not get what I want to get, but I'm going to get something that's going to be free and clear. And I'm shooting for something very new, not very new, new. I do not want a used car because I don't want to have to deal with any hassles with it. I want it to be new so that I'm the only one who has driven the car, maintained the car. I know how the car has been cared for. And so what I'm trying to do is just to pay for something new in cash. So that's the goal. Now, with that being said, I am literally trying to get to that 2700. So right now I am at over 1800. So let's say 18.5K, right? 18.5K. I'm trying to get to 27,000. How much is that? So that is 18. So that's 7, and then 8. So 8.5. So 8.5. And let's say I'm giving myself a year, right? Because my car is getting up there in age. So if I'm giving myself a year, then I'm literally having to take that 8.5K divided by 12 months. And that's literally how much I'm going to have to save every month. Now, with that being said, that might be a little bit steep. That might be a little bit steep. And the reason why that's going to be a little bit steep is because I have a minimum amount that I put in my investments every month. And I am truly faithful to making sure that my investments get into my investment account every month. And that is something that I don't miss. Now, I might miss a payment to my kids because I save or invest. I don't save, I invest for them as well. I might miss other things like trying to increase my emergency fund or a car payment to myself here and there, a car payment to my car fund so that I have cash to pay for the car. But one thing I'm not going to miss, I'm not going to miss a payment to myself towards my investments. I'm not going to miss that. That's one thing I'm not going to miss. So, the car payment is very important, but like I said, I'm not going to miss that investment money into my Fidelity or my whatever accounts, into my investment accounts. That investment money is always going to go there. So I might not get to 27,000, and if I don't get to 27,000, boom, I am going to get what my money can afford. The thing about getting what your money can afford is that you're not going to have any additional payments. You're not going to have any additional payments. That thing is going to be paid for in cash. And I don't have to worry about any additional payment. I'm not doing that. I'm not paying any interest on any borrowed money. I'm not borrowing any money, God willing. And I am just, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best with that. And then when I get off the video today, I'll break it down a little bit more. Look at the 2 cars that I have in mind that I'm going to pay cash for. And then I'm going to see how I'm going to handle things. Now, if I get to have to go to the dealership sooner than I want to, then what's going to end up happening is I'm going to end up giving myself a loan from my emergency fund, which is what I really don't want to do. So if I'm down $5,000 or $6,000, I'm going to take the money from my emergency fund, from my month emergency fund and put it on top of my car fund. I really don't want to do that because I'm going to have to end up paying myself back anyway. I'm going to have to end up going extra hard on that emergency fund. And that's probably why I'm not going as hard on the car savings as I should, because I already know I got a cushion. So I'm not even going as hard on the car fund saving as I could, because again, I already have a cushion. And so in my mind, it's like, oh yeah, I got 18 over here and I could take from my emergency fund and add it on top. So because of that, I feel like I'm a little bit lax, which is what I don't want to do, because when I have to take from that emergency fund, I'm gonna be mad. So I'm going to just say I'm going to do my very best. But again, one thing I'm not going to miss is an investment payment, God willing. All right, so my two goals that I told you so far: boost my emergency fund by $11,050 within the next 2 months, and within the next year, I need to save 8.5K, 8,500 towards my car fund. The next thing that I'm doing is a more longer term goal. Well, not really. Because like I said, you take the longer term goals and you cut them. You need to cut it. Okay. So the next goal that I have is to pay 2 additional mortgage payments for the upcoming year in terms of my house. My goal is to pay off my house as fast as I can. I'm really giving myself 10 years in order to pay off the house. I don't know if 2 mortgage payments a year is going to get me, but 2 additional mortgage payments a year is going to get me there. But what I am going to say is that that's another goal. That's another goal. The problem is that I don't let anything interfere with my investments, because my investments, I feel like that's the priority, the core of what I do in terms of how I feel. All right, let me restate that. I guess my investments are my top priority. And the reason being is because I really enjoy watching the money pile up. And not only that, I like the growth in terms of like the interest and the dividends that keep accruing because of the investments that I'm investing into. And I like the idea of having to retire early. Like, or not, even if I don't want to retire, if I have a bunch of money stockpiled, it's going to make me feel a little bit more secure, period. So I don't think that it's about the money in and of itself. I think that it's about the feeling of security, the feeling of safety. If there's anything that I need, I'll have it. So it's not necessarily about the money itself. That's the same thing with the house payment. Like, I want to pay my house off. And it's not paying my house off for paying my house off sake. It's paying my house off because I just want to be free and clear. You know what I mean? I want to have the option. And who knows what happens in 10 years? I might even want to quit my job. I might not even want to quit working. But one thing I will have is the option. So I might not want to do it, but I got the option to do it. And options just feel so good when you have some options. You know what I mean? So those are the goals. Those are the money goals that I have for right now. Again, increase my emergency fund with $1,150, boost up my car savings with $8,500, and 2 additional mortgage payments per year, but at least 2 additional mortgage payments per year. But when I get to the calculator, what's actually present might hit a little different. So when I say present, meaning the money that I actually have to do all the things that I want to do might not completely be there. And if it's not, then I'm not going to have as much money as I want to save every month, but then I do little things like teach GED classes at night, which give me a little bit extra money, or sell some things, which also get me a little bit of extra money. So I do things to a little bit of extra things to try to hit my money goals. So listen, we're gonna do exactly what we can to make this situation work. Um, I'm going to tell you that every goal that I ever wrote down and had an eye for, I hit. Every single goal that I actually wrote down and I said I'm going to do this, I'm gonna do it. But every single goal that I wrote down, I meant. And listen, we hit goals over here. That's what we do. We just hit the goals. That's exactly what it is that we do. And so with that being said, where there is a will, there is a way, and I am willing to do whatever I need to do in order to make sure that my money is right. Okay? Not only for me, but for my future self, for my family, for my kids. I save for my kids, and it's just, or invest for them. It's just, listen, this is what we're doing. We're hitting that money goal. We're hitting those money goals. Okay. All right. So comment down below whatever your money goal is. What do you want to do, and by when? Be very specific. How much money to do what, and by when. All right. So let me know. Let me know. And please do not forget to share this video with someone else who might need some help in setting their money goals.